Kane Brown, Caitlin Brown, thank God, Everything Country, 101.3 KFDI. Rose Bowl Parade coming in just a few days, and the Wichita family going to be there for a very special reason. In studio, joined by Joe Rodriguez and Lisa Mendoza Rodriguez to talk about their son, Zach. Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
Good morning. We're doing well, thank you.
I am grateful for you, for your advocacy and your bravery to come tell your story this morning, because the Midwest Transplant Network, which I advocate for as a Green Ribbon champion here in Wichita, has something very special coming up to honor your son in the 2023 Rose Bowl Parade. Tell me about your son. Tell me about Zach. What was he into? What kind of person was he? Let's get to know him a little bit.
Zach was very tender-hearted. I mean, he made friends everywhere he went, and it didn't matter, young, old, he didn't put any limits. And so kind and loving, from when he was a little boy till he passed. I mean, he's just amazing that way.
He made that decision to become an organ donor the day he got his license. Was there ever a moment, Joe or Lisa, that you guys ever thought about talking him out of it?
No, the reason I think even that young, because when he got his license, I think at that time he was probably like 15, 16 years old. My sister, of course, his aunt was in need of a kidney transplant herself. And so he just always had that awareness just of how important it was. And so I think when he got his license, it was always a decision that he knew he was going to make. And for us, when the time came, we certainly were going to honor what his decision was, to be respectful of that, both for him and, of course, for my sister and for others that we know of how important organ donation is. So that's something that we were not going to not honor his wish and his desire. We knew that that's what he wanted. He knew the importance of it, and we wanted to honor and respect that for him. So,
the three of us in this room are always going to advocate for the idea of organ and tissue donation, how important it is. But we both understand that it's a very personal, intimate decision, and I hold no ill will to anybody who says, no, you know what, it's not for me. All we can do is sit here and talk to people and hopefully encourage them and change their mind, right?
Right.
That's right, yeah. And I think thank you for sharing your story, and then for us to be a part of this where we can share our story. And that's really, I think, the way that, you touch people's hearts is just to share the story, share the information, and it's up to every person, every family, every individual to make that decision on their own. It's a personal choice, and we certainly just do what we can and share our experience, and we let other people just make their own decisions for themselves. Yeah,
for sure. Well, you're doing the important work, and, there was a gentleman in North Dakota who was lucky enough to receive Zach's lungs, from what I understand. You two met this individual. What was that meeting like?
It was amazing. It was so touching. In fact, he met pretty much our entire family, and we all bonded instantly.
Oh, how great.
And he brought his beautiful wife and his precious daughter. I mean, it was incredible. And that bond we still have.
I just got chills, because doesn't that show you the impact of the gift? The wife and the little girl he would have left behind. I mean, just got chills over that. And I think that's some things that people don't necessarily think beyond the actual idea of donating an organ or tissue. They don't think about the extra time you get if you are a recipient, and that is truly a blessing and a gift. What would you tell somebody considering becoming an organ donor?
What I would say is just get all the accurate information for yourself, all the questions that you have. And even for us, after this, we kind of knew what was going to happen. One of the discussions we wanted to have was with our pastor, our priest, and just to make sure from the religious aspect that this was something that was not looked down on, that this was accepted, that this was something that was wonderful. And so we just had to have that assurance. So even for us, at some point, there was discussions just to make sure we fully educated ourselves on everything regarding organ donation. And so that's what I would say is just get the information that you want for yourself, whether it's from a religious aspect or just who's going to be the recipient, or who there's a lot of questions out there that some people know the answers to, better than others. And so I say go to the source, go to the Midwest Transplant Network, listen to stories such as yours, such as ours, and others that are out there. And it's interesting, but there's so many people that have benefited from organ donation. Talk to someone that has had that gift received, and just what it has meant to them, how grateful they are. It is difficult because, we lost our son, you lost your wife, and I mean, it's a very difficult thing to go through, but knowing that there was someone that is receiving that gift of life, knowing that there was someone that has helped you, helped your family, and that's just an amazing feeling. And
for sure. All right, so one of the biggest parades this country holds every year, I equate it to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We're, of course, talking about the Rose Bowl Parade, 2023 Rose Bowl Parade out in Pasadena. What is it exactly they're doing special to honor Zach this year?
So the Rose Bowl Parade is an annual event, and every year organizations from across the country put these floats that we see when we turn it on and watch.
Sure.
And transplant networks from nationwide are those that have a float in the parade. And on that float are images of people such as Zach who have made the decision to become donors and have passed on. And so these images that were put together of Zach and others are fluorographs, and so all done with materials such as flowers, such as seeds, just those kind of things like that have to go on these Rose Bowl parade floats that are required. And so his image will be on the float. The Midwest Transplant Network had asked us if it would be okay if Zach was included on this. And we, of course, were so happy that they selected our family to do this. And so he'll be with others. His image will be with others on that float. And that float will be in the parade as it goes down. I think it's Colorado Boulevard there in Pasadena.
Yep.
And so we're very happy. We got an opportunity at an event about a month ago to see the actual image, and we actually got to finish it with some materials, some coffee grounds that were put on there.
Amazing.
Yeah, everything on there has to be organic organic materials, and so we were able to complete that image, and that will be on the float, and we'll get to see that on there along with other beautiful faces of people who made that decision to give the gift of life.
Nice.
So, and also on the float, there will be living donors, people that have made that decision, that this is something they are going to do or have done, and whether it's a kidney that they've made that donation. And so there'll be some living donors as well that will be on that float.
Important pieces to all the stories, yes. Are you going to be lucky enough to travel out there, or are you going to be watching from home?
We are very fortunate that we're going to be able to go. The Midwest Transplant Network has invited us, and so
amazing.
We'll be leaving on Friday to go to Pasadena. We'll have the opportunity to meet with families of those organ donors and talk with them and hear their experiences. So it's bittersweet in the fact that, of course, it's very sad, and every time we talk about Zach, we tear up and we think about him. So it's very difficult, but also knowing that this is a way that his legacy will continue. It's a way that his memory will go on. And again, you referenced the family in North Dakota. They're also going to be on their own traveling down there. They want to see this and be a part of this as well. So, yeah, it's really nice.
I can't wait to see the pictures, and you're right. It is hard. Grief never stops. But I've said this many times in telling my wife's story. People die twice. They die their physical death, and then they die when we stop telling stories and saying their name. And you are every time have said Zach, and I think that's important. You keep on saying Zach, keep on saying his name, and he'll live on through that. He'll live on through these images from the Rose Bowl Parade, and he'll live on through your advocacy. So thank you both for coming in today and telling your story, telling Zach's story. I appreciate you continuing his work and his important legacy because it's gonna change lives.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you very much.